knowing that you want more for yourself. I guess starting with the mindset, and then trying to find people that you can talk to. I know some people might not have the resources available, but as far as
do you feel like it could even start with like people your age?
It could be, but at the same time, sometimes
it could at the same time.
Yeah. Sometimes you might feel like, okay, I can talk to them, but then the conversation might go to something else.
Exactly.
And I might not gain anything from this.
Yeah. Like, that's not what you came for.
Right. Episode 4.
Big number 4. Alright, y'all, we back with another EP. I'm Roger.
Jalen, J Ford.
Yeah, y'all just call me Rod. And we are Amerikaz Confidential, where we discuss the importance of community and unity amongst all generations and cultures. So, this is something that we want to establish for y'all. That's who we are. And we're going to continue to do this throughout every other EP, so.
Being there for the culture.
Yeah, being there for the culture, for sure.
One episode at a time. Looking to progress, every step of the, taking it one step at a time, progressing each episode, just in competition with ourselves. And so, I'm going to dive into it.
Oh yeah, we dive into it. So we're gonna start off with the lesson of the week. So like I told y'all in the last EP, we're gonna do something different every EP. This one, we want to talk about what's our lesson that we learned throughout either the past week or the week before that. We're gonna just speak to y'all on what we've kind of learned and what we've been going through.
So I guess I'll start with that one. So my lesson this week, I had to learn, kind of soak in, perception. Typically, we perceive things, we may have a perception on an object or a person, and then once that thing or that person comes up to find, we come to find out that that thing is not what it is perceived to be, and it's like, man, wow, this is crazy. Yeah. So that was one lesson I had to. It was something that I knew, but
was it
to actually like be a real life thing? It was just like, dang, like, man,
like I feel like, was it more so like, 'cause I think I even asked you this earlier, was it more so like you had a high expectation for it, or was it more
it was high expectations on like
or
people.
Lower expectations?
High expectations definitely.
Okay.
But when it was revealed to me, it was just like, my man, like that you can't paint a picture on something when you don't, know what all it entails.
Yeah.
Which is why we had these platforms to educate ourselves and branch out and see. So
for sure,
that was a big lesson for me. You got to be willing to educate your mind, be open, and not take things for granted. So that was a big lesson for me. What we perceive things as may not be what it is. So I'm having to learn that every day now. But it's coming more clear. So,
I was reading an actual book to kind of relate to that.
Okay.
I was reading a book, and one of the lessons in the book is don't make assumptions. And the reasons in the book it was explaining was like, because we 9 times out of 10 the things that we think bad are gonna happen, they don't happen. So it's like you making assumptions in your head, and it's like you assuming that this outcome or this experience may be something that would never even come to light, would never even be true. I don't know if that was your situation, but
definitely.
That's a lesson I had.
You put it to life.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to specifically articulate it, but that was actually it. Like,
that's a lesson.
Assumption. I mean, I feel like I know I'm not the only one that struggles with it, but it's definitely. I feel like it's definitely common as this human nature. We all gonna assume or we're quick to judge right off. Like that's just being human. But like he's saying, you can't really paint that picture on something that you don't have quite the best idea on.
Yeah, all the knowledge, all the information.
Right, all the ins and outs for sure.
And then I got a lesson too that I want to address to y'all. So this lesson for me, J Ford actually like kind of gave me a realization, but it's like kind of like finding my own balance in life.
Sure.
Understanding
Sure.
where I am in the process more so, and also to how I can move about it. So like I do have a lot of things that I do. I have school coming up. I don't know if y'all, anybody else in school, like we got school coming up, and then
college students, still college students out here.
Yeah. And then also too, you know, we working on the podcast, and
for sure.
I got family, I got friends, I got all these other things that's like very instrumental in my life that I want to continue to have balance in. So
sure.
I think that's the biggest lesson I've had this week for sure. My tips towards that is definitely to have time to yourself, have time to reflect on how you want to move about it. Also, like past experiences, learn from them. Mm-hmm. I think that's like the biggest thing I can tell y'all right now. But yeah.
For sure. Right when Rob was telling me what he had I was going through this week. Yeah. I knew right off the bat, like, you know, cause I know him, like this is my homeboy. He's been my homeboy for like what, the past two, three years. So it's like I can kind of get a gist of some of the things like he goes through that I can relate to. I mean, so you know, he kind of giving me the rundown. You know, he's in a relationship, got this podcast going on. So I was just like, you know, okay, bam, something just told me. My spirit just told me, balance, finding that balance, and before we got into it, I was just talking to him about like the power of being alone. I know we talked about that in another episode, but just having that time to settle down, breathe, not be so focused on the pressures of life or the worldly things that kind of set us apart from, you know, what's really going on right in front of us. So when you find that time to set yourself aside, maybe sit in isolation for a little bit to breathe, that's when, you know, things like information downloads to you. So it's a special thing.
Definitely.
Special thing in isolation.
Isolation, for sure. And I was gonna also add on to that. I used to read a lot. I used to read books, go out to park and just read a book, and like that would also bring me clarity. So it's like I really feel like it's isolation, but also like implementing things to like nourish you. You know, adding substance back into yourself to better yourself, so you can actually put out more for your people that you want to provide for.
Reading books,
yeah.
Going outside for me is eating fruit, feeding the spirit. So I mean, we could dive into all that.
Yeah.
But we are going to get to
straight to the topic.
So it is, the topic of this is the importance of mentorship. Is bro code still a thing? The importance of mentorship, of course, and reasons why you are truly never alone, or why you are truly never alone. So
so these are like really, really big topics, and we kind of understand that it's all kind of centers around the importance of mentorship.
For sure.
So I think we want to kind of just start off with what our idea of what bro code is,
the bro code.
The bro code, yeah. Bro, so we can dive into it.
Yeah.
I'll start with my viewpoint. For me, like bro code is like it's really just like, I don't even know if you want to say guys, but yeah, I mean it is bro code. So guys just kind of like being there for each other. Like they see something going on, they see something wrong, like, oh, like dude may have his collar flipped up. You know what I'm saying? Let me help you out.
Yeah.
Like even something small like that. You know, that could be an example of what bro code is to me. And then even something as serious as like being there to help jump your brother off or something, like when his car not working. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big like range of what bro code could be in a way. So What's your idea of?
My idea, of course, I know we talked about the little the immature definition was following the bro code. You know, when you young in school, like you got all your bros with you. Y'all come up with like a rule, like, hey, bro, like you can't. If I talk to such and such, you can't. If we get done the next month, you can't be talking. You can't be talking to her.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the young boy mindset.
Idea what it is. Yeah.
But my thoughts on it are kind of piggybacking off of what Rod said, just following the principle of just stepping up per se. It's such a little concept, but it goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying, if you're a homeboy, you see he needs help with something, like say something's too heavy, he needs help carrying, like, hey bro, like you need help, or hey bro, you need a ride to such and such. I know you gotta be there. Just taking that initiative. I feel like now that has we've kind of gotten away from the true bro code of being there for each other, serving each other, because we've been exposed to all these different things that are of this world. So when people are exposed to all these different entities within the world, it's like you kind of lose track of like principle. What are the true principles of living righteously? So being there for others. So that's my take on the bro code thing.
So I guess next question would be like, why do you feel like people are more selfish now than they were in the in the past? Cause I honestly, like, I can say, like, I see it more so in those situations, like immature situations, dealing with women or dealing with financial reasons. Like, I see it more so in those situations, but it's like, why?
Right. I feel like a lot of people are entitled.
Entitlement.
Entitlement. That's a big thing, especially within our generation. Whether it be females or males, like a lot of us we're self-centered per se, and don't really see or will look down on something as far as like helping others out. That's we feel like that's small of us when little really goes a long way, but I feel like that's a big reason behind we don't see that as something that's okay, helping somebody else. What is that?
And I guess like to piggyback on that, like I feel like entitlement and pride, like those
pride too, yeah,
those
for sure.
those
pride.
things, like they kind of like go hand in
hand.
Yeah. So like when you have too much pride, bro, like you're not gonna even want to hear from nobody else.
That is true.
And then also too, now you feel like you can't really say nothing to nobody else because that's how you feel,
Right.
So yeah, bro, like I feel like we got a lot of pride in our generation. Sure. Like we feel like we gotta know it all, we gotta be it all.
For sure.
So yeah, bro code need to come back, but in the right way.
In the right
for sure.
Yeah. Organized bro code, the real bro code.
But yeah,
having the principle down for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, we really just wanted to dive into that a little bit and kind of tied into like what mentorship means to us as well.
For sure.
And I kind of just start off with that piece is like mentorship has had a very big impact in my life. I know I've had my own experiences where I would need mentorship in my past, but I didn't receive it. I know me and J4 kind of spoke on that a little bit too, but it's like the impact that mentorship has is very it's seen by a lot of people. Just the growth that people have, the elevation, places that people go off of mentorship is amazing.
It's amazing.
So I'm talking.
Personally, mentorship to me is a good factor to being successful, being a success. Personally, I can't speak on the right situation, but me, I grew up with a father at home, father in my house. He was always, being there for me. and I feel like having him show me how to put on a tie or be presentable, make my bed, little things such as making my bed, brushing my teeth in the morning that was like I didn't recognize it then because I was like kind of young and naive, but as you kind of grow older and go through life experiences, you appreciate those things, you appreciate having that advocate in your life telling you, leading you from essentially, destruction, self-destruction. So, I would say, mentorship definitely starts in the household, having a solidified solidified group of parents per se, or solidified parents, 2-parent household, showing you, right from wrong. I feel like the importance of parenthood is good because it's one thing to be there for your kids, but it's also important that you build a relationship with them too.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was talking to Rod about something I kind of observed yesterday at work. Just speaking on like fathers being present in the home. I was telling him, which is it's not something that's not known in our community. As far as like black people go. I was kind of fast forward. I was at work yesterday. Observing. I'm a lifeguard per se, so I see like different families come in, but I saw two black families, and what intrigued me was like it was a father present, and about like 4 kids, and like both families. So it was like, wow, like that's rare to see, but it's like it was good. It felt good to see that, like to see the unity in the family. So
no, that's good. Like he did mention that to me earlier, but like that's something big that kind of we do lack in our families.
Sure.
And not even just like fatherhood, but even like motherhood as well. Like
sure.
Just the both willingness of both parents to kind of come together and be in that child's life, that has a big impact on them. It definitely does. And kind of speak on my own beginning, my start of everything. Like I had a pretty good mentorship starting off. Unfortunately, my parents were divorced, but it didn't stop me from having like coaches, and even my dad, he was my coach. You know what I'm saying? So like I had a lot of big like leaders and people in my community that I could look up to. I think when it came down to it, I looked for more of a mentorship when I got older, like in high school, got to college. I feel like I gained a lot of independence at a younger age. So people didn't really feel like I had a need for mentorship still in a way because of all I had learned. But as I've grown to learn, like even like leaders, even people that are like in their 60s, like everybody needs guidance. Everybody needs somebody there to help them along the way in some form or fashion.
Yeah, every leader had a great mentor. Every great leader had a mentor. To lead, you must be a disciple first. You must listen in order to feed to the people, pour to the people. So,
and then like to speak on what you had mentioned about high school, I think you said like your coach, he wasn't your coach. Who was it? Like,
he was
your
coach.
He you can speak on it.
I'll speak on that. I'll speak on that. So my coach, this is my freshman year. Mind you, I went to a predominantly black high school. I went to 2 high schools, but this is my first high school.
Yeah.
Freshman year, naive, hanging around the wrong crowds or whatever, hanging around, kicking it with. I was on the football team, so how you get that little stigma, you popular, so you gonna hang with them majority of the time.
Yeah.
Because y'all got your own little cliques or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was one morning. I think I missed an assignment or something, and then my dad was working. My dad actually worked at the school I was going to high school with. I was going to high school at, and so we had a talk prior to that, and he was telling me about what my coach was telling me, but it didn't resonate with me until my coach.
The coach kind of
said it. Yeah. So, you know, basically he pulled me to the side. I think it was like 15 to 20 minutes before my first block. He just kind of sat me down and said like, hey, like, you're not like these other, he said, knuckleheads or shitheads. Like, so, and then when as he was saying that, it was just like something inside me kind of shifted.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. And then like I was saying, going back from there, from there it was just like, okay, he sees that I'm different. I gotta see it within myself. So within that, it was like a whole shift that changed from that whole freshman year to my whole high school career, and then going into college. Like I kind of started moving different, and that little notion kind of goes back to my lesson.
Your lesson,
how we perceive ourselves may be different from how somebody else perceives us. So in that instance, like I was like so caught up in what other folks were doing, I didn't see who I was. But my coach, who saw this thing, shout out Steve Robertson too, that's his name. Saw something in me and said, you know, hey, like if you want to go down this road, that's cool, but I mean, ultimately it's your choice. But he saw something in me that was like, hey, like I know you're not. I'll be damned if I let you go this route. So I was like, okay, I really gotta take this thing serious. So I said, it turned out it aged well for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, like
that perspective.
Yeah. So
that change of perspective like shaped how you view the rest of the next steps in your life.
Yes, for sure.
Really did.
For sure.
And what I was gonna say was like, I feel like that if I would have had something like that, especially in high school, bro, my vision of what I envision myself as, like the possibilities of where I would have been, like I feel like it would have definitely been different. But I'm definitely grateful for all the lessons that I did learn. Just having that somebody other than your parents tell you that, like
that's when they hit. That's when they hit a little different. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah. So you thought you think of me this way, but I don't really see it. Cause I mean, essentially that's all we really depend on, our loved ones, like.
Yeah.
But when it comes from somebody outside of your tribe, it's like,
yeah.
Okay.
And that touches into bro code as well. Like you see somebody, they going down the wrong track, they not doing something right. Why not bring it up? Why not tell them like, hey, I see you better than this?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see you go down the wrong track because you got obvious potential.
Right.
So
and that was big for me. Like when I tell you, I think I dang near broke down crying after you told me that. And then it was just like a shift, like an energy shift.
Yeah, bro.
So, yeah, that mentorship, the power of figures is real.
Yeah.
Coaches, like he's saying, all that stuff, like having that person that like be on you, hold you accountable, and sees you more, sees you for something bigger than what you think you are. You need that for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
Most definitely.
But yeah, so we had a few facts in here that we thought was really interesting. So there's around 15.78 million children that are living with a single mother, and then there's also 3.44 million children that are living with a single father, and this is just in 2022. So like to think on that, it's like there are a lot of homes that, of course, are lacking fathers, but like they're also lacking. There's some homes that are lacking mothers.
Yeah.
So in our community, we have to have mentorship.
For sure.
There's somebody in their community that's either like a mother, a father figure to them. So it's a lot that plays a part into mentorship. We have to understand like being there for other people is really important.
Most definitely.
You never know your impact. You never know how you're changing their life because they do lack either a fatherhood or motherhood, you know, in their life. So it's just something to be aware of in our communities.
Most definitely. And presence is definitely important, but also I would also stress like building that relationship with the kid or whoever, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Whoever you're dealt with.
Yeah. And I feel like this also plays a part in, especially I guess in school, especially when you go off away from your parents. It's something I kind of experienced, but just the feeling of not knowing where to lean on to, not knowing where to find guidance, and that's where a lot of my feelings of alone kind of came from. It's just like I didn't have that mentorship, that guidance anymore because I was away from my parents. A lot of people don't really have that connection that a lot of other people do, like with their parents, to like just call them up and be like, hey, I'm going through this.
That's true.
It takes time. You have to grow, build that up with them.
Right, for sure. And speaking on that connection, and then like I was saying, kind of tying that into the whole mentorship thing, like being present is cool, but also being there for that kid too, like getting to know the kid, like okay, like son, hey, daughter, like what are you up to? How are you feeling? You know, what's on your mind? How are you mentally? Are you good? Like, I mean, being present is cool, but interacting with one another is most fruitful. Cause I mean, like, I was watching a little video. I meant to say you too. Yesterday, it was a man and his kid. He was like, I want my kid to enjoy the experiences with me, whereas as opposed to me just getting all these like toys and stuff from him. Cause I mean the toys only good for so long. Eventually he gonna outgrow that toy.
Yeah.
But what will stick with him is that experience, all them experiences that he has with his father. So that was real powerful too. So, you know, like I said, being present and being present for real, like like going through, you know, different experiences with your folks, having that presence, showing that you're there for them is important because, like I said, the feeling of absence can lead to self-destruction. So
definitely. I can kind of talk on like the child side. It's like even the parents that you see your parent, they want to be active in your life, they want to be there for you. It's like you also too have to reach out as well. I think that's a big part that we also tend to forget. Sometimes we want people just to know how we feel or all these things, and also to your parent, they should know how you feel as well. But it does take a certain amount of effort on your part.
Yeah, both parties for sure.
So that's just my kind of experiences with that and kind of feeling alone. But when I got to campus, I actually was blessed with a program that was literally centered around mentorship. I was able to have like a community where I could grow, I could learn, I could like make a actual footprint in the university. That's a PWI, so that's something that I felt like I was missing. But I originally came to find out that this was already established. This was something that we were blessed with coming into campus.
Most definitely blessed with Bridge. I feel like I was kind of in the same boat with my story. It's kind of different. I did go to I went to a mixed high school, but my thing was different because I was coming from out of state, so I didn't think I was gonna know too many folks. But shoot, I mean, it aged well. I was able to join the Bridge program, connect with different men that look like me, and I just happened to meet Rod during that time period, and shoot, from there the rest was history. Like he's like my brother. So
and we've been networking, meeting new people. Like I even got an opportunity to travel. You know what I'm saying? And, it's a lot of things that came from just that mentorship aspect. It's like you grow as a person.
For sure, definitely.
And I think honestly, like that kind of recentered my mindset around what mentorship really meant.
And then us, like, we going into the program, and then as mentees. Well, is that right? Yeah,
mentees.
we started off as mentees, and then we worked our way up, and then we became mentors. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, just branching out, taking the opportunity to branch out, and take on opportunity, open ourselves up.
How was your experience being a mentor? Like, how different was that when you first got into it? Like,
well, first off, like that was like my first kind of mentorship role.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, okay, I'm kind of jumping into the water here, but it actually turned out to be good because a lot of my mentees still keep in contact with me. They support me now, support what I got going on, and I had a lot of them tell me like, hey bro, like you were really helpful, because if you weren't like for you telling me such and such, then I probably wouldn't be on this track of doing this way, or if it weren't for you, I probably wouldn't be a part of this other program that helped me in my major. So it was definitely a win for winning situation for me.
That's good. I had just thought about it when you said this is that was like your first time.
Yeah.
My first time was actually in high school. I was a part of a program called Big Brother Big Sister.
Okay.
And we would go to I think middle schools, and we'll talk to like the students. And these students they wouldn't be troubled, but they'll have things going on at home, either with their parents or something. So we would just be like their big brother in a way. So that was my first experience with mentorship, and honestly I think that's probably why I feel like Bridge was something that I definitely wanted to do. I wanted to definitely be a mentor because I knew how much of an impact I had on him. His name was Caleb.
Okay.
And, he sent me a little letter, he doing good and everything.
Shout out Caleb, man.
It just felt good to
pour in.
Yeah.
Definitely this was something I didn't know essentially that I would like to do, pour into others. As it was poured into me, it was just kind of something that I took a leap out on faith and then ended up molding me for the better. So I would say mentorship is definitely involved in growth, personal development, growth for sure, especially in leaders such as ourselves.
So I think one of the next questions on the list is, how does somebody go about finding mentorship? So somebody that wasn't as blessed as we were to have a program like this, how does somebody go out and find people I think this is something that I even faced after Bridge. Even though I had those connections, I was still needing mentorship in different areas of my life. So
knowing that you want more for yourself, I guess starting with the mindset, and then trying to find people that you can talk to. I know some people might not have the resources available, but as far as
do you feel like it could even start with people your age?
It could be, but at the same time, sometimes
it could at the same time.
Sometimes you might feel like, okay, I can talk to them, but then the conversation might go to something else.
Exactly.
And I might not gain anything from this.
That's not what you came for.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way street with that. Okay. So it's branching out, being open, because essentially you never know who you can meet. But I don't know. I can only speak on my own thing, but my situation.
I kind of talk on me a little bit. So I originally I didn't really have anybody for, I guess, financial guidance. My parents, they know a little bit of something, but I didn't really have anybody to help me understand this is what you need to pay for and all this kind of thing, especially when I got to school. So I had a really good professor actually my first year. She kind of she loved talking to us about finances and everything. I don't even think it was a finance class, but she loved talking about it. So she kind of she would always give us tips to benefit us in the real world. Like saying when we first bought our first home, bought our first car, something like that. You know, she would always give us tips. So I definitely reached out to her one day. I was asking her about certain things as far as like my billing and what does this mean and everything. Like even simple as like budgeting and everything, and like a good way to save and start a retirement plan, that kind of thing. So I think that was like the closest thing of me reaching out for a mentorship in an area that I did like myself. That was the closest thing I did have. But I really felt like it kind of took a lot of me not feeling less than because I didn't know. So I feel like that's a reason that a lot of people don't seek mentorship, is because they don't feel like other people can relate. Other people have the same problem as them. Like, no, we're all learning. We're all trying to grow, and those are lessons that people have either learned or they still learning themselves. So.
And like you said, it's a pride thing.
It's a pride thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to definitely release all that pride that I had. Like that was the
ego.
first step. That was the first step.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's the adequate approach, what you was asking me earlier. First off, you gotta be open. Can't get the big head of falling into your own ego, saying like, I don't need nobody. Like, who are they to tell me how to?
Exactly.
So, first off, changing the mindset, of course, and then what they say, he says, changing the emotion. So, got a little breakdown on Smart. This is a guy, smart rapper. He says, he's a rapper. His name is Smart.
His name is Smart. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So he said, how we think creates how we feel. How we feel creates a vibration. That vibration creates, how we think creates how we feel. Well, how we feel creates an emotion. That emotion creates a vibration, and then that vibration attracts the things too. So I feel like if we want something or want to seek the change, it starts with the mindset, and then letting the ego go aside, letting the pride go aside, and then that's when you open yourself up to opportunity.
To the help.
Mentorship and everything is leading. So
yeah, I definitely feel like you should definitely do inner work before you start. Seeking out outside help, but also too is like, I feel like just the realization of you need help. That's the start of it, and then reaching out.
Coming to your senses first. Yeah, because that's the first big bold step.
You can go into it with pride. Ask somebody for help with pride. You know what I'm saying? You can look at them and like, oh, they don't really know what they're talking about.
Right.
And not get nothing out of it. So, yeah.
That's the first big bold one. And that's hard for a lot of people to say, okay, I need help.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? What are the adequate steps to getting myself help? So,
you must be willing to take heed, take knowledge from other people as well.
Constructive criticism. Sure.
Yeah, so that's my take on like kind of finding mentorship, especially when you don't really know where to seek it. I do feel like, at least for me though, I did ask my friends a lot of questions growing up, but it is always better to ask somebody older that's been through it, because you don't want to just get false knowledge, that kind of thing. So
probably best for somebody who actual long life experience to get their 2 cents on it, so you know how to maneuver and navigate what to do, what not to do. So
So you have any like final tips for college students? Because we started back school. We got like
started back school.
We start back on Wednesday.
Shoot, and it's gonna be a ride. Final tips for college students. As far as mentorship goes, I would say always be open to seeking the resources if they're available to you. Like, that's like a waste of your time if you don't cater to the resources that are distributed for you. Have an open mind. try to be less ego, less ego, and less ego and pride. Be open to opportunity. Work on self, of course, and things like that. Other things of the world will follow. So once you work on yourself, it's like everything else comes. It seems like everything
flows.
It flows, and you're able to manage things more efficiently.
Exactly.
Because you found that balance.
Mm-hmm.
You done work on yourself. You're able to decipher things, put things in order, and take care of what you need to take care of. Therefore, live a more fulfilling life.
Yeah.
So I would just say, work on yourself, and then seek help, because like we say, we're not going through this life journey alone. None of us are. Whether it be college student, man outside, janitor, trash man, your boss.
Yeah. Anybody.
We all need help.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect, so I would just say that's my tips for everybody on a wide spectrum. So
Gotcha. So my tips for like college students, definitely to be willing to put yourself out there. Don't have pride. Don't say like, oh, I'm good by myself. I don't need a group. I don't need somebody in my corner and all like that. So definitely don't do that. And then also too, I'll be wise as far as your decisions that you make, especially when it comes to like your education.
Mm-hmm.
And what you are putting into your mind. So that kind of plays along with that bro code thing and everything. But that's discernment. That discernment that comes from just learning. Like, allow yourself to learn first before you go into the situation. I feel like that's like the best thing I can tell y'all.
And sometimes you just gotta experience stuff.
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes you gotta fall on your face to know, okay, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't go with such and such, because I know they're gonna talk about this, and it's really not gonna lead to nothing. Or they're gonna end up with them, and I probably shouldn't be hanging with them when I got this test due, or I got an assignment that I gotta do. So, just using, like what I said, discernment, that gut feeling, 9 times out of 10 be true. So, just learning to decipher.
Yeah, and then also staying true to who you are. Like,
for sure.
Don't try to be nobody that you not. And
for sure.
I feel like everything else gonna really like flow into place.
For sure. And then also speaking on that too, knowing who you are. Don't fall into that pressure of knowing the career that you need to do right now. Because with that comes a lot of unnecessary pressure on you. That puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on you as well. When you're trying to focus so much on the future, you kind of forget about the right now. So I feel like when you're living in there now, you can kind of work on things and things will come smooth. Whereas when you're focusing on the future, like you don't know what's gonna happen in the future, so
definitely be present.
Definitely live in the present. So
So that's like all my tips I have for college students just starting off. So just don't be afraid. Hey, life's a journey. I think I told y'all this in the past. Life's a journey, and we learn it the whole way through.
For sure, learning, growing, and evolving. Whole way through.
Yeah. So we do have plans to definitely meet with you guys on campus.
Sure.
We got a really big group interview coming up. We got public interviews coming up.
Pose everything. Hold on.
Yeah. And this location right here, we trying to make this like, official.
Yeah.
So y'all gonna get used to like being in this actually like one location.
Sure.
We're gonna get more frequent with what we do. So
thank y'all for tuning in. Episode 4. Doing it for the culture, one step at a time.
So, all right. Just finished off. My name is Rod.
J. Ford, Jalen.
We'll see y'all next one.
Go on.